Welcome, Angry Faithful. Today on What the Hell, we're actually going to talk about what's been going on right now in Ukraine with all the bullshit Russia's trying to do with the nuclear and high alerts for nuclear warfare.
They're threatening Finland and Sweden.
Yeah.
And he put his nuclear forces on alert. There's a beer company, a brewing company in just outside of, in Ukraine. They halted their beer production and they started manufacturing Molotov cocktails, printing labels for these bottles that read, "Putin is a dickhead." There's a 76-year-old great-grandmother that signed up for military training in Ukraine.
Yeah. Oh, there's also an 80-year-old man.
Like an 80-year-old man showed up with a fucking suitcase. He had a underwear, toothbrush, change of pants, and a couple of sandwiches for lunch. And he's like, "I'm ready to go."
Yeah, because he's doing it for his grandkids.
Yeah. And then there's a world champion, a multi-millionaire world heavyweight champion boxer from the Ukraine who put everything aside, flew back to Ukraine, and volunteered for military service.
Yeah.
We got the Ghost of Kiev. We've got the Saint. We've got the the Ghost of Saint Javelin walking around.
Yeah.
There's a report today.
The Ukrainian Reaper.
Yes, and there's also a report that the Ukrainians killed a column of 55 or 56 Chechenian tanks, and among the KIA, allegedly, is a Chechenian general. Now, if these reports are accurate, that same Chechenian general was responsible for numerous crimes against humanity. I mean, like, we're talking war atrocities.
Wow. I mean,
yeah.
it's in a situation right now where even I'm like, can I still go in? Because even the president, and this is funny. This is so fucking hilarious and spot on to our times. The president of Ukraine, he originally was an actor comedian, and he played a role where he was a teacher, and he ended up being president. Now he's the president of Ukraine.
Yeah. But
I mean, my heart's for Ukraine right now. Of all the
absolutely
right now,
you think about it. You have this small, tiny little country, and they are standing up and going toe to toe as a population to a, for lack of a better term, superpower. The Russian ruble is not doing well at all. It wasn't doing well, which is the biggest reason why I think Putin moved in there. To try to take the resources, because there's titanium mines, there's all kinds. I mean, there's valuable resources, not to mention, I think, some oil reserves.
Yeah, because they also destroyed a Ukrainian pipeline, oil pipeline. What's even funnier to that, I don't know if this is true or not. This is so fucked up. The Taliban came up and said maybe Ukraine and Russia should have some diplomatic talks and everything. I'm like,
yeah, the Taliban can go get fucked and stay fucked. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm with you. But I was just like,
why are they sounding off?
Yeah,
I mean, they're out there stoning women to death still. I mean, they put their country back into the 14th century.
They're still doing necrophilia, and this isn't like, this is Dave bullying. No, they're actually, people came back from the events of was it August? Or was it September? Well, August, saying that's what was happening. They're killing and raping women now. It's like, and they don't care if it's dead or alive. So
Like I said, if you want to live in the 14th century, fine, fuck it, let them go. It's whatever.
But
But as far as Ukraine goes, the Germans have broken a decades old law that they had set for themselves, I guess, since the end of World War II. Um, they they gave military arms to another country. They donated munitions and weapons to the Ukrainians. And there's a stipulation that goes on is that if the Germans sell something to you and you want to sell that to somebody else, you have to have the Germans' permission. The Germans gave the Ukrainians permission to disseminate those weapons and ammunition as they see fit. The Germans have stepped in. When you've got a former Axis power coming in and saying, hey, look, this is not a good look for you, we know.
yeah.
I mean, they're back-to-back World War losers. I mean, they're the Buffalo Bills of geopolitical warfare. But
I mean,
this
France has
this
stepped
is
in.
this is going to be the analogy that's going to rub a lot of our nerd sports fans wrong. The Germans are basically the Texas Rangers of World War warfare. They've lost both world wars that they've made it to. So but anyways, moving on. But there was early on there was reports that there was like an IL-58 or 57 transport plane that was shot down. Rumor was that it was full of Russian paratroopers.
Mm.
Now, if that is accurate, and they shot down a plane full of Russian paratroopers, there was reports that the plane was low flying and slow moving.
So they were gonna
near anti-aircraft targets.
Yeah.
Or emplacements, right?
Yeah.
The Russians tried to say, well, it was just a refueling plane. I'm calling horseshit for one reason and one reason only. You don't fly low-flying refueling missions, and you don't fly refueling missions near anti-aircraft emplacements.
Yeah, usually set it up like what, 40,000 feet in the air?
Yeah.
For refueling?
They don't. Well, and see, even if then, it doesn't make sense for the Russians to perform refueling operations over Ukraine, because if your pilots are doing what they're supposed to be doing and they're flying their sorties and they're dumping and they're depleting their munitions, they're having to fly back somewhere to land and rearm.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, far be it for me to wish ill upon another paratrooper, but I mean, like the saying goes, with the song "Blood on the Risers," it's one hell of a way to die. I mean, they've got these young kids on a plane getting shot out of the sky, and it's like, and it's funny because you look at some of the geopolitical experts that automatically seem to surface on Facebook.
Oh, especially the ones that think they were in the military. Like, if I give kind
These are the same geopolitical experts that sound off about foreign policy. When last week they were bitching about somebody's dog being on their yard and taking a shit, and then they get all bent out of shape because somebody yells at them about it.
I was talking about the people that were
the Stolen Valor guys.
Yeah. If I'm one of those people that tell you, hey, maybe we should do this, I shouldn't talk. I know this.
Like, I don't have a dog in the hunt right now. I really don't. I want to see Russia get its ass kicked. And I want, and I found out why the Soviet Union was threatening Sweden and Finland, because Sweden and Finland said, we want to join NATO.
Oh.
Russia's not happy about it.
Yeah.
So they put their nuclear forces on alert. And I'm like, Putin's going to fuck around and he's going to send a fireball or two or three up into the night sky, and he's going to kick off World War III. He really is.
Yeah.
I honestly think that Vladimir Putin wants the Soviet Union back because, I mean, his former posting before.
He was ex KGB.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was ex KGB, and I think he was actually FSB at one point.
Yeah.
So
he was both.
He was actually head of the Berlin office of the KGB.
I didn't know.
So Putin knows how to run surveillance, counter-surveillance, intelligence, counterintelligence. He knows how to be a strong-armed thug. And, I mean, what's going to end up happening is that the Ukrainians are going to throw a lot of sucker punches, and they're going to throw a lot of haymakers at the Russians. And the Russians are going to take a lot of losses. And Putin's going to end up looking like an asshole because he's sitting there throwing young men into the furnace over a country the size, I think, of the state of Georgia.
Yeah. It might be actually a little bit bigger, but not that much. But no, another factor to look at right now is what we should be looking at right now is the fact of if Russia keeps this up and keeps on a long war, China's going to get they're starting to get into Thailand.
Yeah, they started performing military exercises out in the Sea of China, just off the coast of Thailand or Taiwan.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, and here's my take on it: we can't afford, and we don't have the manpower to wage a two-front war. We just don't. We don't have it.
Yeah.
Because we either let our allies take care of Russia and then we try to take on the Chinese with some additional help. And we put both of these countries back in their place. You know, we secure them in a cage with the key, and then we melt the key down and turn it into, Putin's butt plug, But, I mean, I don't see it happening, man. If China and Russia kick off and they decide to start fighting at the same time, well, I mean, when I say at the same time, China takes advantage of the fact that the entire world's looking at Ukraine, and then they want to start chomping off at Taiwan. China's got half of Hollywood in its back pocket, along with a good chunk of our politicians anyway. It's kind of like, a lot of science fiction that you see that takes place in the near future. Everybody's speaking Mandarin.
Well, in like the 80s, it was Japanese. Now, like in the 90s, it started to get into Chinese. And 2000s.
But it was never Russian.
Yeah.
It was never.
We're never speaking Russian.
But, I see this whole thing going sideways really fast.
What's really sad is that another thing that's sad is I saw like not anti-Ukrainian war, but just stupid shit. Like I watched this video here recently. It was about the leftists trying to get their like the far leftists, the crazy ones. The ones that even our far right ones that we don't even talk about, but the far left ones that we really
like
wish
AOC,
would shut up.
Yeah.
No, I was seeing this like Ukraine lives don't matter, Black lives still matter type of bullshit. I was like,
those ones. Okay. Yeah, it's always about race, right?
Yeah. I was like, what the hell? I was like, it was just such bullshit to the point where these people are going out and they're losing their lives. It kind of feels like Nazi Germany all over again, or the First World War mainly.
Yeah. Well, even the Reich. I mean, one of the first things that they did was outlawed gun ownership, and they stripped their citizens of the right to own anything except a hunting rifle. And even then, you had to be a party member, and had to be a party member in good standing to own a weapon, and it was just one weapon in your home, unless you were an army officer, and then you had a Ruger. I mean, not a Ruger, but a Luger. But,
well, the president of Ukraine right now is, if you go over there and fight, he'll hand you a gun.
A gun and ammo.
That's yours.
You boys like Ukraine? Woo!
I'm seriously thinking about going to Ukraine. You're gonna give me a what? Suppressor with this motherfucker?
Oh no, you are not getting a suppressor. No, you are just getting a standard run of the mill AK-47 and a fuck ton of ammo to go with it.
You know I'm gonna pick up a suppressor, right?
You know that you're probably going to end up taking a shit ton of Magpul furniture to go with it, right?
Probably.
You hit the ground, you're going to be like, all right, let me see that. You're going to tear it down. You're going to put a new stock on there. You're going to put the quad rails up front. You're going to put a fucking red dot on there. You're going to put that forward grip. You're going to tactical the fuck out of that thing.
Hell yeah. Make it work right.
And then they're going to look at you and be like, you'll come here. And they're going to stick you in like some kind of special Ukrainian forces, unit. And you're going to be like, I fucked
up. Hands down. But like, they look at the weapon and are like, oh, what are you doing here? Over there. Okay. Why are these guys?
Why did they suddenly become Chinese when you did that?
I don't know. My Chinese and my
you're
my Russian.
You're
my Russian kind of intermixed too much.
You're going to become an international meme. You're going to be like when you lied on the application for the job you applied for. You're going to be standing there. You're going to be looking all. You're going to look like a fucking fobbit, and you're going to be like, and then after your first firefight, you're going to be like. Like, I don't know what to do with my hands, but
no.
I was talking to Mindy before I got online with you. It kills me because I was seeing news reports all weekend from people here in the States holding rallies, like anti-war rallies for the Russians, right? Or not for the Russians, but they were, having like. We're holding a support rally for the Ukrainians. That's fine. That's all well and good. I can't wrap my head around the logic on those, and here's why. If you want to support the Ukrainians, and I mean the Ukraine and the Ukraine people, gather ammo, gather supplies, gather medical stuff, and ship it. Find a company or an organization that is willing to get this stuff to the people that it does, that it needs to get whose hands that it needs to get into.
Yeah.
And
like giving blood to the Red Cross.
Yeah, like giving blood or, medical supplies or ammo or foodstuffs, I mean, it's non-perishable stuff. Whatever it is, clothing items, boots, stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But these rallies, support rallies, right? Well, what are they really hoping to accomplish? You got these like they had Mardi Gras this past weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like anywhere from like New Orleans all the way to fucking like Galveston had its own like Mardi Gras festival, right? It was like a little parade. And they were interviewing this one guy. His head was painted blue, and he had the Ukrainian flag painted on his face, and he had like a Hulk glove that was like blue and gold, right? Which is apparently the Ukrainian flag. And he was going off about how Putin needs to understand his place in the world, and he needs to just pack up his forces and go home. I'm like, let's break the logic down on this. Somewhere in Russia, Moscow, some high-rise apartment, either in the Kremlin or in the rich sector of Moscow where the well-to-do people are at. Putin is sitting around shirtless, drinking vodka, watching these news reports roll in about civilians that are apparently in no way, shape, form, or fashion anywhere near the physical requirements needed for any kind of military service, and lack the ability to look intimidating even on their best day, are telling him that he needs to pack up and go home because the Ukrainian people have a right to be free. Where in their mind does it click that Putin's going to be sitting there going,
I'm the fucking asshole.
Comrades. These people are right. Let's pack up and go home. Tell Ukrainian people I'm sorry. Pasvidanya. We'll sit around. Dark room, bottom floor, basement of Kremlin. Shoot vodka, drink vodka all day. Chilled and room temperature. And think about life decisions. I turn over a new leaf. Like, is that really going to happen? I mean, and it's like those statements where, like, you hear those sports analogies, like, if this team wins, they're going to shock the world. It's like, they're going to shock the world? This American sports team wins this game as the complete and utter, like, triple figure point underdog. It's going to shock the world. So, like, the second that it happens, picture yourself at a rice paddy somewhere in North Korea. And, Il Jong-fook, or
Kim Un-bak.
Creamy Sung-young guy is fucking picking out rice. No radio, no connection to the outside world. He's going to stand up and he's going to look around and like, fuck me. The Bengals won the Super Bowl. Like, really? It's like, just you shock the world. Like, no.
That's always got me to think. It's like all those people screaming out, going, "We got to save the world. We got to save." It's like, no, we're saving the humans. No matter what, the world's gonna be fine. Well, it takes 50 million years to get radioactive stuff to go away. I was like, I think the world might actually survive that shit. We won't. Yeah, we definitely won't.
The planet will be just fine. And, if we obliterate ourselves, the planet will regenerate itself over the course of a couple of 100,000 years.
And all that we created would be destroyed.
Yeah. Nature will reclaim all of these concrete structures. All of the rebar will rust and turn back into iron oxide. The concrete itself will deteriorate and crumble.
Have you seen those
and this trips me out.
The nature overgrown it? It's freaking fantastic.
Right. It kills me, right? We've got these roads that are still standing and still being used today that the Romans built. But yeah, we have people out here with doctorates in engineering that can't keep a road together for fucking 5 years without it developing a pothole.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where did we go wrong? Did we overcomplicate the plumbing? Did we bring back the wrong group of German scientists back to the States after World War II? Maybe. Seriously, what the fuck is going on there? But
I think that was their whole plan. They're like, how we can fuck them? Roads.
Roads, yeah. Roads where they're going, they don't need any roads. But I know. Wait, hold on. I got you right here. Yeah, there we go. All right.
You need to label those.
I know. Well, I've got the sound card. I got the soundboard laying flat, and I'm leaning away from the desk. So,
okay.
But one of the.
That's still like the seed thing. My grandmother giving the seed to a Russian soldier, so when he dies, his body will support sunflowers.
Yeah.
The other thing was that island where 13 Ukrainian soldiers
13
went up
Ukrainian
against
soldiers.
A freaking warship.
Yeah. This Russian warship radioed them and said, "Surrender, lay down your arms, or you'll be hit." And like, to the Russian warship, "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah.
And they shelled the island, and all 13 of those guys got killed. But the last words that this dude spoke on this planet were to tell a big Russian warship out in the bay, "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah.
So, I mean, if anything, and then Ukrainians are taking down all their road signs.
Yeah, I'm trying
to confuse.
You.
Yeah, and all their digital boards, they're putting "Go fuck yourselves."
Yeah,
and I'm just sitting there going, I mean, this is the classic, like, this is the modern interpretation of David versus Goliath. Mm-hmm. And David seems to be holding his own right now. I mean, I know that the Russians reportedly took over. They captured Chernobyl, but like, okay, really,
was that Chernobyl? The Chernobyl,
yes. Okay. The plant, the.
I was wondering about that. Yeah. I was like, was it the? I mean, that's not really a loss. I mean, there's that's just kind of fucking over Russia.
Well, here's the thing with that: if the Russians really wanted to play fuck games, I mean, they could plant charges to level the plant to include the big concrete dome that is holding in the radioactive material from that reactor. Yeah, so if they wanted, they could turn Chernobyl into the world's biggest dirty bomb.
This is true.
So, but, and then there was the story about a Ukrainian soldier. He was waiting until a Russian tank column was crossing over a bridge. And when the charges didn't detonate automatically, he volunteered to go out there and do it manually. And
that's a boss move right there.
Yeah, and he went out like a boss too. I mean, he radioed in and effectively said his goodbyes, and set, blew the charges. So I'm like, dude, I mean, you see the resolve of these people. But yeah, we got these 18, 19, 20, and 21-year-old kids here in the United States that bitch and cry when the latest update for their newest video game doesn't fucking work right.
Yeah. Or the basic fact. I mean, the sergeant was like, "Oh, I'm so worried about getting drafted." And the sergeant was like, "You motherfuckers are lazy fucking pieces of shit. You do not have to worry about being drafted."
You know what? And reinstitute the draft. Do it. Reinstitute the draft. And then when you start seeing all of these mass exodus of fighting age American males going north or south to try to flee, I'm like, okay, you can go, but the second that you cross that border, you have surrendered your American citizenship, and if you come back over, we will treat you as an enemy combatant.
Yeah, I could see that.
And we need somebody with a set of balls in the Oval Office to stand on that resolution, to hold that resolve. That says you will not be granted full constitutional rights in a court of law. You will be held in a military prison. You will be processed as a prisoner of war. because until it's such time that you are deemed not a threat to national security, then you will be deported to the country of your choice. And if the country of your choice doesn't want you, then you're basically a man without a home.
Yeah.
And if we catch you over here, then you'll go through the American criminal justice system, and you'll spend the rest of your life in prison.
But there is another thing that a lot of people don't know about this. And I've been saying this since we started. Me and you actually. No, I think me and a couple of people talked about it. But I've been telling people, it's like, you do realize Russia's trying to take over Ukraine. This is like 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And this has all been happening. We just started hearing about it just a couple of minutes ago. And I was like, oh, they're going to invade Ukraine. And people are like, Russia's not going to do anything. And now they're like, you're fucking. I was like, yeah, they've had proxy wars since like 2014. What are you laughing about?
There's a river in the Ukraine. And it's the Russians are having a hard time taking it, and the Ukrainians are taunting them by saying, what is it? You have to listen closely because this is the punchline. Crimea River, I don't give a fuck about you. Like, ooh, I heard that, and I was like, I see what you did there. Oh, that's classy. Crimea River, Crimea. I was
yeah,
like,
but
yes,
there's also a couple of ex-special forces from different countries that are setting up shop going to Ukraine too, and these are veterans. They're out, they're retired, and they're going over there to help out.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not just United States. It's
well, we've got
German.
We've got a lot of former operators that are going over there to operate, but we've got troops. I think there's in
3,000. Yes, we have troops in Germany holding. It was the old Iron Curtain that they held the line to, and now they decommissioned a lot of it after the.
Well, no, we sent a lot, like
Wall.
3,000 guys over there from, I think it was at the 82nd Airborne.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, all right, fine, give the 82nd their limelight or whatever, but it's like, I mean, 3,000. I mean,
and the sanctions.
They
That's
used
another
to say
thing that
they used to say like
stuff was the sanctions.
Yeah, the sanctions. You're always gonna. Oh, and speaking of sanctions, Iran has pissed off the World Health Organization.
How so?
They sent back several shipments of COVID vaccine, citing that they will not inject their people with it because it was manufactured in Great Britain and the United States.
Well,
I mean, personally, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either.
Let the Iranians.
It's like,
let the I don't believe in the vaccine. I don't. And I believe people should have a choice. If you want it, get it. If you don't want it, you shouldn't be forced to take it, and you shouldn't be bullied into getting it by either hook or crook.
That was the other. There was other meaning. It's like, we should send all the unvaccinated people over to Ukraine. I was like, you kind of can't, because they all have been fired. More or less.
You get these uneducated, belligerent, vile human beings that regurgitate
I
the
think
talking
it's just
points.
More or less.
Well, no, they regurgitate
warriors.
hear me out, but they regurgitate the talking points of the left. They just do.
Mm-hmm.
They do it without any conscionable thought of their own. I mean, you want to talk about being an unoriginal basic bitch. That is exactly it right there. In its purest definition. They spout it off because it makes them feel good that they're standing up for something, but they don't take the time, they don't take the effort, and they don't have the stones to do their own research and to formulate what might very well be their own opinion because they're so scared of being ostracized by the vocal minority.
Yeah.
Pure, plain and simple. And it's easier to be a malcontent and a miscreant than it is for you to stand up for what's right. Because
exactly.
why? Oh, it makes me feel good as a person. Shut up. You know, I mean,
the only reason why I want to go back,
we were listening to Cleared Hot weekend before last.
Yeah,
and they were talking about the pussification of the American man. And I'm like, dude, that struck such a chord with me because I'm like sitting there going, it's a simple statement, but it completely quantifies the 18 to 25-year-old demographic in this country.
Yeah, Andy Stumps and Mike Glover, Andy Stumps won't call himself a man's man, but he I mean, ex-SEAL, ex-Green Beret, and ex-CIA operative. I mean,
yeah,
between the two of them, they're high top badasses.
I mean, one of them's a certified pilot, multiple aircrafts. He's just got to renew his current, his current specifications.
And he pulled off being a lieutenant without getting a degree.
Yeah,
I mean that is
professional skydivers.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, really? I mean, and I loved hearing their conversations about, he's like, well, what kind of a loadout did you use? Because I was using subsonic ammo, blah 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 blah. And he's like, well, I didn't get into the nerd side of it. I just, whatever weapon they gave me and ammo. I mean, if I were to like trick out a weapon, I mean, I spray painted it, but that's about it. He was just like, I was just a monkey on a gun. But it, like me, I mean, I looked and looked before I bought my AR. I looked and looked so I could find a 1/7 twist barrel, because that's what we had. Those were the issued barrels, was the 1/7 twists. And so I was like, all right. So I mean, I knew that. I'm starting to look at grain counts. I don't shoot 223. I like 5.56. I know that there's not a whole lot of difference, but there is.
Didn't you look at the freaking video I sent this weekend with the 45 and 9mm?
Yeah.
It punctures body parts. That's all that gets fucking matter.
As
long as I can do it on a constant
basis. Yeah, you could theoretically take down a moose with a 22. But
it's like the only it's like the Automag. The Automag that I have, fucking badass gun.
Yeah, it's
if it works.
Yeah.
But even I mean fucking what's his name? Matt Cummins, the demolition ranch guy. He bought one just like mine. And he's like, I want to trade this back. This is a piece of shit. I was like, hey, yeah, it is. I'm not going to lie to you. It's an L driver and it shoots a badass flame through it. But even the ones back in the day, and he got a new one.
Mm-hmm.
And he was having problems with it jamming. They've always had problems jamming. That I wouldn't use it in a firefight. I mean, It looks cool. It's fun to shoot it. That's like having a Smith & Wesson 500.
Yeah. Where you get these guys that carry around as like their personal weapon.
Yeah.
Like a Desert Eagle. I mean, there's no point.
I didn't even like the Baby Eagle. Baby Eagle was a 9mm, and I didn't like it. No.
I mean, the point of shooting a 50 Beowulf round is for show. Yeah. I mean, really, they they make I forget who makes it. There's like one company, and they made a 50 BMG revolver. It held 3 rounds in the cylinder, right? And it's like, why?
Well,
Why?
it's like
What is the
that.
point of having that? I mean, if
Because
you know that
America,
your neighbor's house,
motherfucker.
well, I get that, but I mean, point is, we're getting off that. So I don't know. It just
What's really gonna bite a
the
lot of people's in the
pussification of
ass?
America.
Yeah,
You know,
but
eh,
what's really gonna piss a lot of people off is we are gonna go to war. We're gonna have men and women that actually served in war, and it's gonna be like I don't want to say Afghanistan and Iraq all over again, but we're gonna get men back. We're gonna get like real hardened badasses back, and they're gonna see all this shit that's happening now, and they're gonna go fuck you, and they're gonna be at square one again, because that's
well,
what happened
it's
after
either that,
9/11.
or you're gonna get these battle hardened guys, men and women. They're gonna come back into the military either through recall or volunteerism or whatever, or I don't want to say conscription. I mean, anyways, they're going to come in, and they're going to see what the rank structure, they're going to see what the command structure looks like, and they're going to see what the metal is of these post-Afghanistan war, era guys. These officers that are, a lot of them still in it for themselves. They're in it for their OARs. And you're going to get a lot of these guys that are going to come back in as an NCO. And they're not going to stand for a lot of this at all. Some of them will try to go to special forces. They'll try to go to the special operations side. Because let's be honest, that's where a majority of the war is going to be fought, is on that level. But then you're going to have the big army, or the big, the big unit, conventional units, like the 101st, like the 82nd, like the 10th Mountain Division, or the 3rd Infantry Division, or the Big Red One, or the 2nd or 1st Armored Divisions, that kind of thing. God, even the 4th Cavalry Division, Jesus Christ. You're going to get these people flooding back into these units, and you're going to have such a clash, like a culture clash, like a personality clash. You're going to have people that have no time for bullshit. They don't want to fucking be there in the first place. Or you're going to have the people that came back on their own free will, just so that way they didn't get told. And they're like, look, I'm back in a uniform. I don't feel like getting my ass shot off. So we need to do things a certain way. And you're going to start seeing some old school mentalities come into the command structure. And it's going to clash with a lot of this giving privates phone privileges and cell phones in basic training. You're going to get a lot of these privates that are going to come in from basic training that are going to have that very flippant, very insubordinate, very non-tact, non-military bearing mindset. And they're going to get an absolute mud hole stomped in their ass. And it is going to be an incredibly rude awakening. And the first time that one of these, these millennials, or whatever they're calling the new generation of fuckheads, but you're going to have one of these millennials, Gen Z, you're going to have one of these Gen Zers come in here. And the first time that they get sent overseas and there's a firefight, and they have to, they go to move, trip, fall, and then put their hands in a pile full of, a mound of goo that used to be their friend's face. It's like, it's going to take one guy that's going to be shooting a TikTok video in his fucking watchtower.
That was another thing that Russian soldiers giving out positions on accident, only because of they're trying to get what was it? What's that dating app? What starts with T?
Tinder?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one thing too. It's like basic OPSEC. Turn your fucking location services off when you go overseas. When you're in theater, you turn your location services off. That's part of the in briefing.
I never even
mean,
took my phone overseas.
well, you get a lot of these guys that do it now because they've got access to Wi-Fi and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, so it just, I don't get it, man. It's like Tinder, Snapchat, Facebook, even Twitter, TikTok.
It reminds me also Elon Musk turn on the
Yeah, he turned on
Starlink.
Starlink. Yeah, he turned on Starlink for the Ukraine. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to support the Ukrainians, and if you want to send a message to them that says, "Hey, we support you," do shit like that.
Yeah.
Do shit that's going to help them. But as far as anybody else is concerned, no, the Russians can go fuck themselves. They're the ones that wanted to step on their dicks, and they wanted to step into that dog shit. They're going to be the ones that are going to have to wait to scrape it off their boots until after they get home.
All I'm seeing right now is a bad 80s movie.
Yeah, it's not a bad 80s movie. It's one of the best 80s movies out there. You got a lot of Ukrainians out there going, Wolverines,
Hell yeah.
So, I'm just, and those weren't AK-47s in that movie. They were Egyptian rifles. And there was I think a handful of them that still exist today. And they were all serial numbered and stamped.
Really?
Yeah. So if you find one, if you have one of these rifles out there, you start checking your serial numbers, and you can go to there's some website where you can check the serial numbers for the weapons that were used in that movie. You might have one of these weapons that was used in the filming of Red Dawn.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, right. I'm like, now I kind of want to go find one.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go find one. But I know, because everybody had their childhood crush, right? As far as celebrities were concerned.
Yeah, Alyssa Milano kind of snuffed me though.
Mine was Leah Thompson in the 80s, dude.
Leah Thompson. Oh yeah. Yeah. We went over this little.
Yeah, she was in Howard the Duck. She was in Space Camp. She was Marty's mom in all three Back to the Future movies. I'm like, dude, bro. Yeah, we had this discussion before in a previous episode.
We have had this I had to look at you leanly out of the edge of my eyes. Is he still? No, he's done. Nope. I think he's back up again. Man, he's got some endurance. Yes. I was waiting for it. I had to keep it up until you did it. That was
yeah. You keep throwing those terms out there: endurance, keeping it up. Oh, I have to keep it up. No. Naughty Jungle of Love. No. If you've ever seen Half Baked, you get that reference.
Yeah, I got a Half Baked.
666. Naughty Nate. No. I'm not a fish. I'm a man. Homo sapien. Did I say homo? Oh shit. All right, so this episode in a nutshell: Ukraine good, Russian bad. Yeah. Yeah. So, I hate to say it, but I hope that there's plenty of crows and buzzards and ravens and shit like that start picking clean the bodies of Russian soldiers that were just quote unquote following orders, right? Yes, sir. That's exactly right. So
also, next week I'm gonna have a guest on, so probably don't need you for the What the Hell episode. But what we're not done yet. God damn it. We're actually gonna have a gay conservative come on.
Oh, is that why you're telling me not to come on?
No, we're gonna do it in the studio and everything. It's time frame and to get because next weekend you're gonna have the kids anyways.
No.
No, you're not.
Not next weekend. There was kind of a tweaking of the schedule because I'm taking the boys for spring break down there to Houston. So that's the 2 middle weekends.
If anything, it'll just be one of those extra episodes that'll keep in the logs for you to do that.
So you're gonna have a gay okay, let me all right. Him being gay has nothing to do with anything. He is a perfectly normal human being. However, think about the phrasing here. Are we still using phrasing? Bringing a gay guest host on to possibly keep that episode in the can. See, my dog even growled to that one. Yeah, my dog even growled on that one.
Yeah, that was pretty. No, he's a pretty cool dude. I helped him out with getting his car because he was scared that the people that he was getting the car from was kind of meth addict and crackheads and everything like that, and he didn't know if he's gonna what was going on, and so I was like helping him out because he never bought a.
And I want to go on record. I want to go on record as saying I have no homophobic tendencies. I am very confidently heterosexual. So
most military people are, because we both shower together.
Point is, in no way, shape, form, or fashion was I issuing any kind of discernible slurs at the direction of the guest host for next week.
Yeah, but no, I do the interviews I like to do by myself. Like the interview you're supposed to be doing with
I have not heard back from him yet.
Oh well, hopefully.
The downtown flyover exit is supposed to close tomorrow. Expect detours. What are they doing? Those flyovers here in town?
Flyovers.
Yeah, the overpasses downtown.
Oh, okay.
You know, the Wichita Falls homage to the Dallas-Fort Worth Mixmaster.
Yeah.
Dude, check out this sticker I got.
Chucky Milk.
I was like, oh, that is awesome. Anyway.
Oh, also, you can use promotional code Plano-GO, all capital letters, get free 1 month free subscription. Black Rifle Coffee.
Okay then. Oh yeah.
I sent you I literally sent you the promotional code, and you was like, "Why I have to get the codes?" I was like,
"Okay, all right, fine. Yes, true. Dude, I had 7,000 different things going on this weekend, so you'll have to excuse me.
That's why I was like,
you'll have
more
have to
confused
excuse
myself.
me
I was
for
like,
pulling a you and being a little bit dyslexic when I read your text message this weekend.
Yeah, I people get like dyslexia when I'm around. It happens.
It's almost like it's transferable by osmosis. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
anyways, we're gonna
but my shipment
up
this month.
Yeah.
I get my coin this month.
Okay, you have you're getting it at the end of the month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was worried about that because my stuff didn't.
Well, go into your subscription and look at your order for the month, and you'll see like a one-time thing, and it'll tell you if your coin's in this month's.
Well, I haven't paid for my monthly shipment yet, even though I put in the subscription stuff.
Yeah, go into your subscription, go into your order history, and tap on the new one, the newest order for February or March, whatever, and it should tell you if the coin's in there.
Let's see here. Oh, there. Oh, we can do this off here. But anyways, going in of last week, we stand for Ukraine on this one. Fuck Russia. God damn it! I've been waiting like 30 years to say that again. Fuck the Reds.
Fuck the Reds. Yeah, you little bastards. Yeah. No, let's see here. Hold on. Let me go into this. Come on. Here. Come on. Mother hell. Okay.
so sad we're doing this on an air where we can actually say, I gotta figure them out.
We can do this off air. Like, no, we're doing this now.
No, we're doing this now.
All right. So when I go into my February order, this is what it says right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't paid mine for this month. I paid the February.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't gotten that yet. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, yeah. I got a little giddy.
Okay, where do you go to get your?
In the app, you click on the My Coffee Club, and then you just go to log in.
All right, I already did that.
Because the app has a tendency, for whatever reason, to sign you out if you haven't been in there for more than 24 hours.
Yeah, pisses me off. Mine just says one exclusive whole bean of Battle Sasquatch.
Interesting. That's okay. You got the battle crate, and I'm getting the coin this month. So, it all comes out in the wash.
I'll call him tomorrow and find out.
I want my coin. Yeah. I see that happening too.
Yeah. Well, I was just, it's one of those things. I know that everybody's supposed to get one that's in part of the Copper Club.
Yeah.
Well, but last month it kind of crapped up on me because all the my credit card information, everything just vanished from the freaking site.
Wow.
It was weird. It was like none of my information was there.
That is strange.
But anyways, man. I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton.
And thank you for watching Angry Faithful. And we'll get together again later on.
Laters.
Victory!